Welcome back. In our previous video, we looked at the factors that assist companies to determine the location of their firm. And in this video, we are doing a follow-up by looking at the issues of to localize or to delocalize a company. What do we mean by localize? Localization is a situation where many firms are concentrated in a particular area. Have you ever noticed how some areas seems to have an abundance of a certain type of businesses? Well, that's what we are calling the localization. This is when multiple firms are concentrated in a particular area. This is interesting to see how this phenomenon can impact the economy and shape up the entire industries that these firms belongs to. Now, when we talk about delocalization, we are describing a situation where firms' location is spread in different regions to minimize localization problems. And this is a strategy that businesses use to spread out their operations across different regions. And this is to avoid running into issues that come with being too localized. And we'll look at some of those issues of being too localized. And by being delocalized, a company can become more flexible and adaptable while also tapping into new markets and resources. And we look at these fascinating approaches and their advantages and their disadvantages and how they help many companies thrive in today's global market. We have said that localization is where many firms are concentrated in a particular area. And let us look at some of the advantages of being localized. And the first one is a skilled pool of labor. And here we are saying that firms will benefit from already established skilled labor pool from which they can recruit their employees. Another advantage is that there is already established infrastructure in the area. And hereby firms will benefit from already established infrastructure such as transportation and communication. And in these localized areas, you will find that there is established auxiliary services such as banks that firms can already benefit from. Then we have the social amenities in the areas, such as hospitals and schools, and established markets for products that are already in the localization areas. Then availability of raw materials. Farms can may be able to get raw materials easily as they may be already being used in the area, or they can even use by products produced by other industries as their raw materials. Let us look at some of the disadvantages of localization, and these are housing problems. As many people move to such areas in search of jobs, there is likelihood of housing deficiency in these places, and sometimes even it can lead to growth of slums. Also, demand for land in these areas is very high, and this pushes the prices of land up. Congestion and traffic jams are a common problem in such areas. In case of war, such areas can become a target of attacks. Localization leads to rural-urban migration, leaving the old and the young in the rural areas, and therefore the rurals become underdeveloped as the others move in search of jobs. A lot of environmental degradation through pollution by many cars or deforestation to pave a way for human development takes place in these areas, and even discharges of waste and also mining issues that affect the environment in localized areas. We also have the issues of social problems such as crime, prostitution, and illegal drugs that become common problems in localized areas. We say that delocalization, it is a strategy that businesses use to spread out their operations across different regions. And this is in order to avoid running into issues that come with being to localized. Therefore, let us look at some of the advantages of being delocalized. One, it ensures that all areas are developed. It also ensures that employment opportunities are evenly distributed all over the country. Thirdly, it reduces rural-urban migration, and this is because people can now get jobs in the rural areas once industries are delocalized. It also promotes the development of infrastructure all over the country, and it leads to the establishment of auxiliary services. We are talking about banks, insurance, farms, etc. in these rural places for the benefit of the residents. It also enhances the development of social amenities such as schools and hospitals in all areas of the country. It lessens losses in case of attack by enemies during war. Let us look at some of the disadvantages of delocalization of a farm. First, pollution is spread to the rural areas. Second, security is never guaranteed in these areas. Then, it might also become expensive to hire and attract appropriate labor. Therefore, labor costs might be higher. Auxiliary services also may not be well established in these areas, such as banks and postal services. Now, incentives offered by the government to industries in order to delocalize, they also add to the public expenditure, and this becomes an added burden to the taxpayers of the nation. Also, industries may not enjoy the benefits that accrue from concentration of industries, for example, developed infrastructure. So what are the ways that the government can promote delocalization? Because there are some ways in which the government may motivate industries to delocalize, and these are by giving entrepreneurs free of or cheap land to construct their factories, by giving tax incentives to those who locate their industries in the delocalized areas, by providing cheap loans to entrepreneurs wishing to establish industries in rural areas or in places that has few industries, by providing security in the industrial areas or in the new industrial areas, by providing subsidies to those industrialists who are willing to delocalize, by providing the appropriate infrastructure in the area, that is the government choosing to develop infrastructure in these places. The government can also provide social amenities, that is schools, hospitals, and such, in areas where the delocalized industries are to be established. Well, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and kindly help me grow by letting me know what you think about the video you've just watched. And yours truly, Sophia.